We have a great matchup in the NFC as we have the Minnesota Vikings on the road against the Green Bay Packers. This is your Week 4 2024 prediction and preview video. Hit subscribe if you're new. Also hit the like button. Let's start off with the home team, the Green Bay Packers. The last 2 weeks have been phenomenal, and Malik Willis has looked very good in the last 2 weeks, and I do want to give him a major apology. I thought the Packers offense was going to take a step back when Jordan Love went down. That was not the case. Now, Jordan Love is questionable for this game. He was questionable last week as well. He's still dealing with that MCL injury. So I'm going to cover this from a Jordan Love perspective and from a Malik Willis perspective as well. But let's start off with Malik Willis' side of things. If he's able to be the starter, if Jordan Love is not able to play, they have to continue to run the football. You saw what they were able to do against the Indianapolis Colts a week ago. They won that football game off the arm of Malik Willis and off the legs of Malik Willis and Josh Jacobs as well. And when you look at what happened last week, the Tennessee Titans, they stacked the box. They were not worried about the pass at all. They played Malik Willis like he could not throw the football down the field. Well, Malik Willis made them eat up that game plan early in the game. He was 13-19 in the game for 202 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown. He also had 73 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. The run game was very inconsistent here and there with Josh Jacobs. He had 14 carries for 43 rushing yards. And you also look at it from this standpoint. Emmanuel Wilson had 50 rushing yards. He averaged 4 yards a carry off of 12 attempts. Why is he getting carries? A.J. Dillon is going to miss this entire season, dealing with a neck injury. Marshawn Lloyd, a running back that this team was very high on in the NFL draft out of USC, he's missing time as well. He's on IR right now. So you have other running backs to come in and pick up the slack and pick up the load. You also gave the football to Jaden Reed behind the line of scrimmage as well. You have to continue to do that. This is a red-hot Minnesota Vikings team. Brian Flores is coaching up one of the best defenses in the NFL right now. We're running a lot of twists, a lot of stunts, and a lot of blitzes up front as well. And Malik Willis in the past has struggled against the blitz. Now, he did not go against the blitz as much with the Green Bay Packers. Coach LaFleur is a very good offensive play caller. So it's going to be very interesting to see him go up against the game plan of Brian Flores as well. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. But the offensive line has to continue to go out there and set up those blocks up front, limit the pass attempts for Malik Willis, and get that run game going. And the same can be said for Jordan Love. If Jordan Love is able to play, he has to take care of the football, something Malik Willis has done a very good job of over the last 2 weeks. The last time we saw Jordan Love play was in Week 1 in Brazil against the Philadelphia Eagles. He was turning the football over. He was very inaccurate. He was throwing off his back foot. He was not comfortable inside the pocket. And I do think that they should start Malik Willis if Jordan Love is not 100% healthy here. Jordan Love is still dealing with that MCL injury. But if he is 100% and he's ready to go, feed the receivers the ball. Also, set up the run game as well. Even if Jordan Love is able to play, you have those running backs for a reason. You have this offensive line. You put a lot of resources in those pieces for a reason. Do not just make it all on the quarterback. That's how you will lose this game. Look at what the Minnesota Vikings just did to CJ in the Houston Texans. He stopped their run game. He put all the pressure on the quarterback. And then you're playing into Brian Flores' hands. Then he can run combo coverage and he can run disguised blitzes. He can run a man blitz that looks like a zone, or he can run a zone blitz that's just completely man and doesn't give the quarterback enough time in the pocket. So the offensive line has to go out there and look out for the blitz, the quarterback as well. And for Jordan Love, take care of the football, be more accurate, and be more comfortable inside the pocket. They're going to move more things around with Malik Willis because he's more of an athlete than Jordan Love, and Jordan Love is a very good athlete in his own right. Do some play action bootlegs to knock off the blitz and try to tire out the defensive front of the Minnesota Vikings as a whole. You have Jaden Reed on the outside. You also have Christian Watson as well. Christian Watson had 2 catches for 67 receiving yards last week. Wilson, the running back, had a receiving touchdown and 35 receiving yards. And that's the thing for the Green Bay Packers. Just because Jaden Reed has been the #1 guy over the last 8 to 9 games does not mean that he's the only receiver on the team that can beat you over the top. They have Christian Watson. They have Tucker Kraft at the tight end position. They have Luke Musgrave as well. They have Romeo Doubs. So get those guys a ball in space and just be patient with the offense as a whole. As far as the defense of the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings have a strong defense, but so have the Packers. We saw what Joe Barry was able to do last year, and he wasn't able to do much. He held the team back because he was a terrible defensive play caller. So far, Jeff Hafley has put these players in the secondary in the best situation possible. Their secondary is cooking right now. They had a pick 6 last week against Will Levis. They forced Jalen Hurts to go out there and throw numerous interceptions as well in Week 1, and they put a lot of pressure on Anthony Richardson. Jair Alexander is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. They're going to need these guys in secondary to step up because The Minnesota Vikings have so many weapons. With Jordan Addison, he's questionable to play, but he's on pace to play in this game. They have one of the best wide receivers in Justin Jefferson as well. So Jair Alexander has to be on his A game, and the same for Eric Stokes as well, and Xavier McKinney. Xavier McKinney so far has been a phenomenal safety. He has 3 interceptions on the season. And we're entering week number 4. He has been great. He was a very good safety last season with the Giants, but he has fit this system to the T. You also look at the front 7 with Rashawn Gary, Quay Walker, and Preston Smith. Get after Sam Darnold. Take that run game away. Make the Minnesota Vikings offense one-dimensional. Aaron Jones is going to be pissed off because this is his coming home game. He's literally coming back to Green Bay, a place that he wanted to stay, but the Packers moved on from him to bring in Josh Jacobs. So you know he's going to have a lot of animosity to go out there and try to beat this team, similar to what he does against the Dallas Cowboys when he faced them. The front 7 has to click, go after Sam Darnold, and be careful with the press coverage that you play on guys like Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. You also have Jalen Naylor as well, who is a very good speed wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. The Green Bay Packers can win this game with Malik Willis or even Jordan Love at the starting quarterback position. But now let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings. This team is on a hot streak. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and this is not just a fluke team. They went out there and they beat the San Francisco 49ers. Yes, they were dealing with injuries, but those guys were able to play in the game before those injuries started to happen. You also look at what they did last week against one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in CJ. Yes, he's in year number 2, but Brian Flores has always been a very good defensive coordinator. So let's start off with the defense of the Minnesota Vikings. You have to go out there and stop the run game of the Packers. And you have to go out there and pressure their quarterback as much as possible. Make them one-dimensional like how you did with CJ last week. And now this is a very aggressive defense of the Minnesota Vikings. They like to press up at the line of scrimmage. You can get away with that, but I will be careful with doing that because Coach LaFleur uses a lot of motion. Last week, you did not face a lot of motion against the Houston Texans and Bobby Slowick and his offensive game plan. Matt LaFleur will notice different things. He will call timeouts before he can set up that blitz, and he will try to make adjustments on the fly. You have to be careful with that. But I do have a lot of faith in the cornerbacks with the Minnesota Vikings to slow down the pass game of the Green Bay Packers because you have guys in secondary that are veterans. You have Stephon Gilmore, who has looked phenomenal so far. You have Byron Murphy Jr., who was very good last season. He continues to be a very good player in that secondary. You have Cameron Bynum, who is playing like his hair is on fire, in the same way Harrison Smith. And they're getting after the quarterback with guys like Jonathan Grenard, Blake Cashman, and Andrew Van Ginkel as well. Dallas Turner, he's questionable to play in this game, but even if he's not able to play in this game, they still generated a lot of pressure last week against one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So whether it's Jordan Love or Malik Willis, put the pressure on the quarterback and stop the run game. You really want Malik Willis to go out there and make tight window throws, more so than Jordan Love. Malik Willis hasn't consistently done that just yet. He has been a good player the last 2 weeks, but it's just been only 2 weeks. So Malik Willis is the starting quarterback. Put the pressure on him, take the run game away, and make him have to throw into tight windows and short opportunities. Don't let the Green Bay Packers get into 3rd and 3 and 3rd and 5. Make them go into situations to where they have to throw the football on 3rd down and 2nd down as well. They're going to try to go out there and bludgeon this defense of the Minnesota Vikings, and good luck doing that with the tough pieces that they have up front. As far as the offense for the Minnesota Vikings, Sam Darnold has been phenomenal. 8 passing touchdowns to 2 interceptions in the last 3 games. I do expect for him to come back down to earth, but this is not going to be the game for that, I feel like. I think Sam Darnold's going to go out there. He's going to have another good game. But it comes down to the run game. The Minnesota Vikings offense looked completely different last season. Even when they had Kirk Cousins, they were not able to run the football consistently. Now they can do that with Aaron Jones. Who knows Aaron Jones better than anyone? Coach LaFleur. He coached him up for all of these years. And Aaron Jones is coming back to a team that basically cut him and pushed him to the wayside. Like I mentioned earlier, look at what he does to the Dallas Cowboys because they passed on him in the NFL draft and he's from Texas. He's going to go out there. He's going to try to have a great game. So feed him the football. And the same with Ty Chandler as well. And do not force Jordan Addison or Justin Jefferson to football because you have guys like Jalen Naylor who can go out there and give you a lot of good production. He's been a very good, speedy wide receiver. You also have Brandon Powell as well at the 4th receiver position. At the end of the day, this is going to be a very good game for both teams. I think that it has the potential of being a high-scoring affair. With that being said, the Packers, they have home field advantage, but the Minnesota Vikings are on a high streak. You have Sam Darnold, who has a lot to prove, and the same with Aaron Jones. I am going to take the Minnesota Vikings to win this game, I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings to win this game 27-21. I think they have too many pieces flying around right now, and their defense is playing very well. But the Packers can also go out there and win this game. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you have winning? The Green Bay Packers or the Minnesota Vikings? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.